evening, and Happy New Year, and welcome to the January regular meeting of the Board of School Trustees of Valparaiso Community Schools. Let's begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first item tonight on the agenda is always a staff and student recognition, and I'd like to have Dr. McCall share with us some good news for the evening.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight we have two special recognitions. For the first, with Valparaiso High School's National Speech and Debate Association, Dr. Tebow.
Good evening. My speech and debate coach hasn't shown up, so I'm hoping that will be here eventually. But as you know, we have amazing kids in our schools, and they are hardworking and dedicated students. They dedicate a lot of time to their extracurricular passions, and that could be whether it's fine arts, academics, or athletics. And this evening, I would like to recognize our speech and debate coaches. Our speech and debate coaches. This is Mary Freed, Ms. Abigail Johnson, and Mr. Jeff Russo. Are very committed. They dedicate countless hours to our group and to our team. And quite honestly, I think that's where they're at right now, because they do spend a lot of time together. So I really do think that's where they're probably practicing. And they spend all this time guiding and challenging our kids to do better, to be the best that they can be. And the recognition that they received recently was the 100 Club, where they dedicated time to service hours and competitions, and they really focused on communicating, writing, research, and all of this for our kids. So it was a great honor for them to reach this 100 Club again this year. So,
thank you, and thank you for coming tonight to share with us. So thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
Next up, for the Valparaiso High School Wind Symphony, Miguel Rosario.
Thank you, Dr. McCall, distinguished members of the board and administration. Thank you for allowing us to make this presentation this evening. The Valparaiso High School Band program was invited by the Indiana Music Educators Association to submit a virtual concert. We were the only band invited to do so under the circumstances that we all know we've been going through for the last 10 months in our nation. So we took advantage of this situation to receive such an honor to take on the risk of doing a video presentation concert. And we, with students that were rotating and remote and so on, we were able to put a production that was presented this past weekend at the Indiana Music Educators Association Conference, and hopefully is accessible and presented to thousands of educators across the state. To talk a little bit about the technical aspect of what was accomplished, I'd like to invite my colleague, Andrea Kessler, VCS class of 2008.
Good evening, thank you for having us. So this project was really exciting for us to work on with the kids. We started working on the music pretty early on in the first semester, and then did 2 recording sessions, one this past December and one when we came back from winter break. Through that process, we were able to use recording equipment that the school had purchased for us through the referendum, and then also some of my own equipment in consultation with my father, who does photos and video editing. So we ended up having 3 camera angles, narrations, professional quality, microphones, and it was a really great learning experience for all of the teachers in the situation, as well as all of the students, to be able to do this type of project. We do have a clip for you.
We were socially distant in the auditorium, stage of the auditorium. You'll see all the things in the first few clips.
Hello, my name is Sarah DeRossi. I'm Assistant Director of Bands at Valparaiso High School. It is an honor to introduce you to our concert presentation for the Indiana Music Educators Association 2021 Virtual Conference. We have prepared a program that we truly hope you will enjoy. As you know, our profession has been highly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Something that has remained constant through this time is the importance of music in our society and our drive to deliver the best possible music education to our students. We at Valparaiso Community Schools have received tremendous support from our community and school leaders to continue to provide a rich experience that is as safe and healthy as possible. For this program, you will see a portion of our Wind Symphony who were able to attend a physically distanced recording session. Without further ado, here is our contribution to the Imea conference. Enjoy!
Composed in 1885 by America's March King, John Philip Sousa, Mother Hubbard March is a whimsical-sounding march medley based on classic nursery rhymes. Included are Three Blind Mice, Thus the Farmer Sows His Seed, Old Mother Hubbard, Hey Diddle Diddle, Little Red Bird in the Tree, London Bridge is Falling Down, and The Minstrel Boy. Please welcome to the stage the Valparaiso High School Wind Symphony under the direction of Miguel E. Rosario Vega, performing Mother Hubbard March.
I know that you have very busy schedules. If you can spare another 20-some minutes of your life, you can see the rest of the concert with a few programs at the end. I want to thank all the administration and everybody that helped us have PPEs and all those things ready for the beginning of the school year and having a plan and the return to learn that allowed us to be able to enrich the lives of our students through these very difficult times. Unfortunately, our other colleague, Sarah DeRossi, couldn't be here with us tonight as there was a death in the family. Her grandmother passed away a week ago. But she's in here in spirit and thought with us. So thank you. Yes, sir.
Couple of things. One, congratulations on doing such a tremendous job in the face of COVID. Your department has been very creative in seeking solutions in order to keep our students doing what they love and performing for more than just themselves as well. It has been tremendous, and I know it's been appreciated by our neighbors to our schools, especially in the early fall when everyone was practicing outside and they were getting free concerts outside. I think their only lament was that our class periods were too short, that they wanted to hear more. So congratulations.
Yeah, we'll make this on a VHS band channel and be accessible to our clique of families and the school boards and teachers. And we are enjoying things that have been planted by generations of former students and faculty, and we're very, very fortunate and all that people that participated in the bands in our community and our parents now and or former students. So appreciate your words of support.
Absolutely. Where is this video housed for everyone to be able to see it since they just got a taste?
Yeah, we were waiting until it was premiered last week for the conference, and we think that we're going to be recreated We got the VHS band Gmail address through the corporation, so now we're gonna be able to go to VHS band YouTube channel. So then we're gonna plant it in. When that's done, we're gonna share it on a school-wide email with a link so people can enjoy the concert at home. They're giant screen TVs, doing something like that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You know, there's something about music,
Yeah.
you know, that is very pure. And so thanks for taking us to a concert, because we all haven't been able to attend concerts, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. McCall. Our next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. I need and this is an action item. Has everybody taken it? Does anybody do any board members have questions, any items in the consent agenda? Being that there is none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. It is approved. All right, moving on to our next item on the agenda, our financial report. No?
Yes.
Okay.
Each month we present our financial reports and calculate a ratio comparing the beginning fund balance for the year to the ending cash balance for the prior month. If the ratio is 1, the performance is good. If the ratio is greater than 1, the performance is excellent. If the ratio is less than 1, caution is needed. Our year-to-date performance of fund report shows the following ratios. The education fund has a ratio of 1.24. Debt service has a ratio of 9.95. Pension debt has a ratio of 1.45. Operations fund has a ratio of 1.25. The operating referendum fund has a ratio of 1.16. The capital referendum debt fund has a ratio of 1.14. The rainy day fund has a ratio of 1.0. Next report is the education report. And the education fund report compares the monthly expenditures to a cumulative target spending rate of 8.33% for each month, which is 1/12. As of this month, we have expended 94.78% of the budget. We would anticipate with a spending level of 8.33% per month, we would have expended 99.6%. We are 4.82% under budget for this fund. The operations fund report compares the monthly expenditures to a cumulative target spending rate of 8.33% each month. As of this month, we have expended 76.67% of the budget. We would anticipate with a spending level of 8.33% per month, we would have expended 99.6%. We are 22.93% under budget for this fund. We believe a review of the fund shows a positive financial position for Valparaiso Community Schools. If there are no questions, we ask approval for the financial reports for December 2020.
Thank you, Gabby. Are there any questions this evening? Seeing that there is none, do I have a motion to approve the financial reports? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. They are approved. Next item on the agenda, Dr. McCall with contract considerations.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight we have 6 items for consideration. 3 of them are MOUs, 3 of them are contracts. The MOUs, 2 of them represent MOUs for our e-learning Wednesday childcare. It is with Boys and Girls Club as well as the Valparaiso YMCA. The other MOU is with the Valparaiso Schools Foundation, partnering on our Legacy Walk project for the West Campus VHS athletic field with a delineation of responsibilities in that project. We have a contract with Pulse Technology for the Aquatic Center, a Sharp copy machine for 60 months, $146.28 per month. a contract with AdTech, who is our E-rate Category 2 services provider, and our consultant on that process. It will go from July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, in the amount of $5,520. And Helen Elementary entering into a contract with Light Touch for their student yearbooks for the 2020-2021 school year. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, but I recommend accepting the MOUs and contracts this evening.
Are there any questions this evening for Dr. McCall? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the contracts and MOUs? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Next item on the agenda, Judy Velasco will share with us any information she has on grants this evening.
Good evening, Board. I have one grant for your consideration this evening. Ruth Osama, elementary music teacher at Headland, submitted a grant request to the Walmart Community Foundation and was awarded $1,000 for the purchase of an alto xylophone, mallets, and bells. This is Mrs. Osama's third Walmart Community Foundation award. I appreciate her taking the time to secure these opportunities to expand options for our students within the music program throughout our schools, but to the benefit of Headland this time. We also continue to thank Walmart Community Foundation for their support of our schools. So I ask for your approval.
Well, thank you. Wow, this is her third one.
Yes, yeah, she's very persistent in paying attention to when this opportunity comes and partners with them each time. So, yes, yes.
Okay, this, we need to approve this. Do I have a motion to approve the grant that Ms. Velasco just presented? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, donations and gifts. Dr. McCall.
Madam President, it is my distinct privilege and honor and joy to be before you to offer up the donations and gifts for this month. It is a tremendous list, and so I am going to take the list a little bit out of order so that Dr. Hawkins can talk about the Holiday Assistance Program that you will see in your packet being representing 213 donors, 656 different gifts for a total of $49,075. So I'd like to give it its due, so I'm going to skip it and talk about the other donations and allow Dr. Hawkins to then present more on the program that has been so generously supported by our community. So, the Valparaiso High School Race the Region Race Series donated $1,000 to the Northwest Country program. The Central Elementary, Daniel Overmeyer donated $250 to Winter Wear for needy students. And Donor's Choice Program had 8 wobble chairs for our students at Central Elementary as well. There was an anonymous donation for $250 for Winter Wear for needy students, again at Central Elementary. At Thomas Jefferson Middle School, Temple Israel donated coats, socks, hats, and clothes for our needy students. Ben Franklin Middle School, from Farm Credit Services, had a donation of filing cabinets for the athletic department. At the Vale, Teachers Credit Union donated $2,500 for food, clothing, and supplies of the students, while Valparaiso Sunrise Kiwanis donated $200 for the principal's discretion. Liv Lubeck donated $50 for school nutrition services. And K or G Gannon donated $300 for our backpacks and snacks program in honor of Gardner Pulse. For athletics, we had the Farm Credit Services at Ben Franklin Middle School. Farm Credit Services donated filing cabinets for the athletics department. And I'm going to cover more about the backpacks and snacks program. And Dr. Hawkins, when you come up, maybe you can talk about backpacks and snacks and get an update on that as well. So, Joseph Tobias and Emily West have donated $30 for backpacks and snacks. Heidi Shepherd-Ecker donated $240. Olga Thomas Grant, $100. Alex and Nicole Mixner, $8. Corbin Cool Molding, $1,000 for backpacks and snacks. Philip and Lori Simon, $50. Joyce Inakis, $100. Sean and Melissa Griffin, $120. Garner and Mary Tullis, $150. Brian and Susan Stage, $125. Family Express Corporation, $339. Liv Lubeck, $50. First Congregational Church, $55. Scott Whitlock, $1,000. Kathy Kurzman, $100. Joe and Lisa Frankus, $32. Michael and Kristen Waters, $2,500. Don Quixote Restaurant donated food for the Backpacks and Snacks program. All total again, 19 donors, $6,299 toward the Backpacks and Snacks program. The Holiday Assistance Program. I'd like to take the time to read off each and every one of these. There were 213 total donors. Again, 656 total gifts purchased, $49,075. Regional Federal Credit Union, gifts for 12 in the amount of $1,000. St. Agabus Church, gifts for 140, $10,000. St. Andrew's Church, gifts for 13, $975. Athletico North, gifts for 3, $225. Athletico South, gifts for 5, $375. Smoochie Poochie, gifts for 2, $150. Evelyn Elementary, gifts for 23, $2,000. Lisa Kuzbul and Lisa Hutton, gifts for 3, $225. Anita Moda, gifts for 1, $75. Liz Bartholomew, gifts for 3, $225. Laura Bryan, gifts for 4, $300. Julie Charleston and Lindsay Nuff, gifts for 4, $300. Lisa Thomas, gifts for 2, $150. Meredith Sadell, gifts for 2, $150. Jennifer Eastcombe, gifts for 1, $75. Jillian Pusiara, gifts for 5, $375. Tiffany Flick, gifts for 4, $300. Rachel Wallace, gifts for 2, $150. Suresh Patel, gifts for 1, $75. Tara Reynolds, gifts for 4, $300. Dina Lavenda, gifts for 4, $300. Whitney Payne, gifts for 1, $75. Stephanie Kidd, gifts for 4, $300. Mark D. St. King, gifts for 5, $375. Tara Worthley, gifts for 2, $150. Antoinette Mario, gifts for 2, $150. Abby Dvorak, gifts for 1, $75. Anna Ladd, gifts for 3, $225. Kristen and Shane Ryan, gifts for 2, $150. Michelle Andrews, gifts for 2, $150. Carmen Goldberg, gifts for 1, $75. Anna Byers, gifts for 2, $150. Charlotte Sterling, gifts for 4, $300. Todd Fell, gifts for 1, $75. Holly Marcera, gifts for 1, $75. Krista Kozak, gifts for 1, $75. Jen Will, gifts for 1, $75. Olga Grant, gifts for 1, $75. Brianna Mitzep, gifts for 1, $75. Peggy Hofer, gifts for 3, $225. Molly Joel, gifts for 3, $225. Dana Funk, gifts for 2, $150. Nina Smiley, gifts for 2, $150. Leslie Curry, gifts for 1, $75. Cub Scout Pack Troop 920, gifts for 2, $150. Seth Bidenberg, gifts for 2, $150. Treya Densico, gifts for 2, $150. Nicole Rosas, gifts for 1, $75. Daniela Hall, gifts for 2, $150. Colin Morkey, gifts for 2, $150. Nikki Templin, gifts for 2, $150. Connie Deck, gifts for 2, $150. Aaron Schmidgo, gifts for 3, $225. Sally Case, gets her two $150. Susan Jones gets her two $150. Deion Price gets her two $150. Miss Wood Holmes gets her five $375. Dennis Kozak gets her two $150. Amanda Striegelmeyer gets her two $150. Jamie Ryan gets her six $450. Ashley Candle gets her one $75. Mara Fiegelhicks gets her three $225. Life Skills and Friends gets her two $150. TJMS Builders Club gets her five $375. Deb Boza gets her one $75. Janice Van Bettenhuizen gets her two $150. Tammy Quinn gets her three $225. Shannon Fabricius gets her two $150. Healthlink gets her six $450. Jenna Signature gets her one $75. Signa Lambda Gamma Sorority gets her one $75. Rory Franks gets her one $75. VHS Key Club gets her three $225. Melissa Griffin gets her two $150. Indigo Inc. gets her two $150. Crystal Fentress gets her four $300. Gina Ames Fugate gets her two $150. Janelle Orland gets her two $150. Valparaiso Firefighters gets her 10 $750. Carly Lancaster gets her five $375. Listing Leaders Real Estate gets her six $450. Meg Payne gets her one $75. 131 anonymous donors gets her $268 in the amount of $20,100. And then just a few more. Another anonymous donation in the amount of $50. Horizon Bank $200. And Dana Jim Brown $100. As you can see, a significant amount of donors and donations going to our holiday assistance program as well as our backpack and snacks program. So, Dr. Hawkins, if you don't mind talking a little bit about each of those programs.
I would be happy to. Thank you so much, Dr. McCall. Our holiday assistance program, to give a little more information about it, is run by our social services department and has been in place for several years. And the idea is to be able to match donors in our community with individuals and families who have expressed a need, a financial need for the upcoming holiday season in order to give the holiday that they want to be able to give to their students and children. So, as I said, families may identify on their own, or social services team works really hard to help build relationships with families and connect them with these programs in order to help supplement what they need. This year, we had nearly 650 students supported by the Holiday Assistance Program, as I said, run by our Social Services Department. So, the second program that you hear a lot about is the Backpacks and Snacks Program, also completely donor funded. Our Backpacks and Snacks Program sends home weekend meal kits to families who may be experiencing food insecurity over the weekends. And so to breakfasts, to lunches, to dinners, some snacks, a piece of fresh fruit goes home. For our remote learners, they have an opportunity to pick that up. And then we also send home larger food packs over our longer breaks. So Thanksgiving break, spring break, the winter break. We serve between 325 to 375 students each weekend in our backpack program, and again, that is completely donor funded. So the donations that I'm grateful Dr. McCall took the time to read every name, because those donations are so important to keeping these programs running and so important to our families. So it really speaks to the generosity of our school community and our greater Valparaiso community. We're so grateful.
Thank you, Dr. McCall, for acknowledging all of those individuals That's not why they do it, but I want to extend a heartfelt thank you. We want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of them. And to those anonymous donors out there, thank you very much. And we are blessed. You know, every month, you know, we see this long list, and this is another example of holiday time. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Moving on. The next item on the agenda, overnight field trip. What? I need a motion. Are there any questions from the board on any of the donations and gifts received? Seeing that there are no questions, do I have a motion to approve the donations and gifts? Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approved. All right, next item on the agenda, overnight field trips. Dr. McCall.
Thank you, Madam President. We have one overnight field trip request. Coach Sattler with the girls swim team requesting to take the qualifiers to the state swim championships at IUPUI Auditorium, February 11th through February 13th, to be paid for out of the VHS athletic account.
Okay, that's it.
That's it, and of course this, they, as with all teams, will have a COVID protocol in place that has been worked on and approved by our head of our nursing department, Joyce Oden.
Thank you. This is an action item, do I have a motion to approve the application for the overnight field trip? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Trip is approved. All right, moving on to the next item. Dr. McCall with second reading of some board policies.
Thank you, Madam President. There are just a few board policies that are now before you for their second reading. It does require board action to approve these and put them in place.
Are there any questions before we make a motion to approve?
I have one question, and maybe Dr. McCall, you can answer. Does this policy refer to when administration is lobbying on behalf of school policies? Or is this more general on political activity?
This is more general as far as political activity. Yes, sir. It does not discuss those other components.
You know, sometimes we have to get involved with lobbying our state legislature for school, what's best for our kids and our school policy. So I'm assuming that this did not include.
Absolutely. The conversations we have with state legislators are not included with this political discourse.
Are there any other questions by any of the other board members? Okay, do I have a motion then to approve the board policies?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. On to new business. Okay, Mr. Cherry, you're going to get an update. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Good evening, everyone. I'll give you a quick update on the performance lab, pool infill area. The balance of the lab equipment will be delivered by the end of the month. We painted in the wrestling room, in the wall pad installation will follow. We finished up some fire-rated doors at the east elevation of the field house, so we're kind of wrapping up, doing some punch lists around the area. Over in the west campus, we continue footings and the underground for the additions. We completed the site storm piping on the east side of the Fleet House, and we're doing above masonry walls. We expect brick to be here hopefully next week, starting some brick. So, really, the snow and the weather has slowed us up a little bit on the field, but I'm still confident that we're on schedule and some turf down before we start baseball season. That's really it.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right. And you're up next for some bid information.
Yeah, if you recall, back on August 20th, we approved bids for the West Campus improvements, and at that time we held off selecting alternates because we wanted to make sure we got through the soils and things like that and see where the money is. Well, it's that time now where we have the funds available to select two alternates. Alternate number 6, which is the baseball and softball field lighting, $585,608. Alternate number 7, the additional field lighting, that's $37,668. So those were competitively bid back at the time when the rest of the fields were bid, so we held off. Now it's a good time. It's actually the right time to select these alternates. One thing I want to add is that the contractor who's done this work, has bid this work, Midwestern Electric, probably should have mentioned that earlier, that it's Midwest Electric's contract that we're going to do a proposed change order to. They have looked at directional boring, which would save roughly, could be $100,000 on this. If we're going to have the engineers look at it and make sure, so there's the potential, we're improving this amount, that this could go down a little bit. Who's going to confirm it? So I ask that you authorize us to issue change orders to accept alternates number 6 and 7 relative to the lighting and athletic fields.
Are there any questions? Seeing that there are none, do I have a motion to award bids for the West Campus lighting alternatives 6 and 7? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, while you're up there, the timing for this project with the weather, but also before the turf and concrete goes in, how will that impact the lighting project? Is it advantageous to begin that project now?
It's really, we have to do it now. I mean, obviously, as go with the normal sequence of work where we're able to get back on it. If we waited any longer, it would add costs, and now we're getting into possibly damaging some of the work that's already in place. I think that was actually the question. That now it's really, we have to, if you're going to do it, now is the time to do it for this price.
Another important note is that this project in particular will be paid for out of an indentured trust fund from a previously held bond from the Multi-School Building Corporation. This project in particular, the lighting on the West Campus for the softball, flex, and baseball field will increase the utility of that field. Our community will be able to use it. The hours that it's being used will increase as we can use it beyond sunset and into the evening hours. The turf that's going down, the design elements that go into these projects are all with not only our curricular and extracurricular, but also our community activities in mind. The parks programs, the youth leagues, it is designed for our entire community. So lighting it up will only increase the use and enjoyment by our entire community with it. So $500,000 of it will be through this alternative bond, and then the balance will go from referendum dollars.
Thank you for that information. Any other comments? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Dr. McCall, request to purchase from the school extracurricular account.
We have 3 items from 2 different schools. VCS Athletics is requesting to purchase 2 iPad tripods and an Apple iPad from Amazon to live stream athletic events. They've really done a tremendous job improving their craft during COVID. I can tell with each passing week just how much better they get at it. They have their own YouTube channel now, and they are doing just an excellent job of connecting our public and grandma and grandpa with their kids and our students and student athletes at work. So that's through Amazon and Ben Franklin Middle School Athletics, Casio PCR T280 electronic cash register through Amazon for athletic ticket sales in the amount of $101.64. Recommend approval.
Thank you. I know I've watched some swim meets, and it's rather nice to be able to see it, and it's clear and done well, so who's ever doing that is doing a good job.
I'll type one up.
Yes. Okay. This requires action. Do I have a motion to approve the extracurricular purchases? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Next item on the agenda, there's a request to donate some weight room equipment. Dr. McCall.
As you may recall, last month you approved donation of weight room equipment. This is equipment that was originally intended to be distributed to the middle schools. However, they had their fill, and so these are pieces of equipment that will not fit into the spaces at the middle schools, and so can be included as donations to other schools who may need it and have the drive to carry them away.
To come and get it.
Yes.
Something with very good shocks, I mean, yeah.
It's a workout in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dr. McCall. Do I have a motion to approve the donation of the weight room equipment? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, Dr. McCall, board resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. There are 2 items that are related. The first one is a board resolution on the continuation of the expanded paid sick leave act. This is a formal resolution that is in your board documents and posted. And essentially, it is resolved that the board shall continue to provide the paid leave that was originally outlined in the FFCRA. And so this is being provided in the EPSLA and its regulations retroactive from January 1, 2021 through May 31st, 2021 for our employees. This is the, again, continuation and extension of the EPSLA that had been enacted April 1, 2020 and had expired December 31st, 2020. So I'm happy to answer any other questions, but this is a initiative to promote and continue to promote a healthy and safe environment for our students and staff in this pandemic. It encourages our staff when sick to stay home, and also allows them to stay home when a pandemic hits them. So, it does expire, according to the resolution, May 31st, 2021 for us.
So we do them separately?
Correct. Do the board resolution first, which will cover all of our employees, and then the MOU is the contract that are saying and signifying the same thing, but it is a fringe benefit that needs to be bargained with our collective bargaining agreement with our PTA. So take them separately.
All right, let's move on to the first one. I need approval. Do I have a motion for the approval of the resolution on the continuation of the expanded paid sick leave act? Is there a second? Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Is there any other explanation we need to make on that second one, or should we just go ahead with the motion?
You can go ahead with the motion. It is signifying and saying the same thing, but outlining in the required MOU format for addendums to previously bargained contracts. So they'll look different, but it says the same thing.
Okay. All right, now I would like a motion for the approval of the MOU for the extension of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act through May 31st. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Thank you. The teachers ratified their side of the MOU on Tuesday, so this will just require your signatures. And then I will submit it tomorrow as part of our requirements for further announcing.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, some board policies. First reading, Dr. McCall.
Thank you, Madam President. In your packet are a series of two policies for your review. As always, I welcome any questions, suggestions, or amendments as you peruse them before next board meeting, where it would take a second reading. So this is information only, no action necessary.
Thank you. Any questions before we move on? Okay. Next item on the agenda, we have approval of the 2021 travel payment and reimbursement rates. Gabby.
Policy 6504, titled Travel Payment and Reimbursement Rates, states payment and reimbursement rates for meals, lodging, and mileage shall be established by the school corporation and approved by the school board annually. As in the past, the mileage rate is set to the standard IRS mileage rate. The rate for 2021 is 56 per mile and will be retroactive to January 1st, 2021. This is a decrease of 1.5 cents from the 2020 rate. Currently, the meal rates are $10 for breakfast, $15 for lunch, $25 for dinner. These amounts do not include sales tax or gratuity, which is limited to 20%. Meal rates for 2021 will remain the same. The U.S. General Services Administration issues federal per diem rates for travel. The lodging rate for 2021 the VCS lodging rate for 2021 will follow the GSA recommended rate of $96. This rate excludes taxes and will be retroactive to January 1st, 2021. In special circumstances, the superintendent may give approval to exceed the $96 lodging rate. If there are no questions, I am requesting the board approve the mileage, meal, and lodging payment and reimbursement rates for 2021.
Thank you. Are there any questions? If not, do I have a motion, please, to approve the reimbursement rates for meals, lodging, and mileage? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, approval of the 2020 urine transfers. Gabby.
Last month at the December board meeting, the board adopted a resolution authorizing the treasurer to make all necessary transfers to close the 2020 budget year and required the treasurer to submit a report designating the actual transfers at this month's board meeting. The resolutions for the transfers of appropriations and the transfer of fund certificates for the Education Fund, Operations Fund, and Operating Referendum Fund were provided to the board. These resolutions and certificates contain the detailed information on the transfers completed to close the 2020 budget year. If there are no questions, I am requesting the board adopt the transfer appropriation resolutions for the Education Fund, the Operations Fund, and the Operating Referendum Fund. I am also requesting the board approve the transfer of the fund certificates for the Education Fund, Operations Fund, and Operating Referendum Fund, certifying these transfers completed did not necessitate expenditures of more money than was set out in the detail in the budget as finally approved by the State Board of Tax Commission.
Are there any questions? Okay, this does require action. Do I have a motion to approve the year-end transfer of funds? Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, one more, All right, next item on the agenda, transfer of funds from the Education Fund to the Operation Fund.
Indiana Code allows school corporations to transfer not more than 50% of the total revenue deposited in the Education Fund to the Operations Fund during a calendar year to cover expenditures not allocated to student instruction and learning with board approval. The board was provided with a resolution to authorize the transfer of $528,000 each month from the Education Fund to the Operations Fund to reimburse Operation Funds for expenses not allocated to student instruction and learning for the 2021 calendar year. This is approximately 14.3% of anticipated revenue for the Education Fund. If there are no questions, I am requesting the board adopt the resolution and transfer amounts from the Education Fund to the Operations Fund.
Are there any questions, board?
Gabby, what was the amount that we did the monthly transfer this last year?
It was the same amount, $528,000.
Oh, thank you.
Any more questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve the transfer of fund from the Education Fund to the Operation Fund?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, at this time, Dr. McCall, next item on the agenda, do you have any comments this evening?
None this evening.
Any board members have any comments this evening?
I would just want to thank Dr. McCall, the administrative team, and all the teachers and principals for the protocols that we continue to use to be able to keep kids in school, and the plan that we have to identify those who have tested positive and to be able to quarantine, for 2 weeks. It seems like the plan's working, and we're able to keep a significant number of kids. The majority of the kids are in the classroom. So just thank you for those efforts.
I second that. So I'm really proud of that we've been in school since August. So kudos to everybody. Thank you, Mr. Sender, for bringing that up. Next on the agenda is public participation. I received word that there were no comments that were sent in electronically, and nobody has signed in to speak this evening. And so with that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? No?
Yes. So moved. We're just waiting to see if anyone had anything else to say. So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Meeting is adjourned. And now, I told you. Now, we're going to have a special meeting of the Valparaiso Community Schools Board of Finance. And I would like to call the meeting to order and introduce Mr. Jim Sarkeesian.
Thank you, Madam President. Pursuant to Indiana laws, the board well knows we must create officers for the School Board of Finance. I will be asking for nominations on different positions. You will respond to the same and we'll go from there. I'm asking for a nomination for President of the School Board of Finance.
I would move that I nominate Sue Hoffman as president.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Seeing that Sue Hoffman has been the only nomination for president, we will vote on that. All those in favor of Sue Hoffman being president of the School Board of Finance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations, Ms. Hoffman. Moving on to Vice President. Is there a motion for Vice President of the School Board of Finance?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Sender for Vice President.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Seeing that the nominations have been closed, we will now vote on Mr. Sender being Vice President. All those in favor of Mr. Sender being Vice President of the School Board of Finance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Sender. Moving along now to Secretary. Is there a motion for Secretary of the School Board of Finance?
I nominate Jen Wagner for Secretary.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion to close the nomination?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll now move on to the vote for Secretary, saying that Ms. Wagner was nominated for that. All those in favor of Ms. Wagner being the Secretary of the School Board of Finance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations, Ms. Wagner. Moving along to Treasurer. Is there a motion for Treasurer of the School Board of Finance?
I'd like to nominate Gabby Jeromchek as our treasurer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion to close the nominations for Secretary? I'm sorry, for Treasurer. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing the nominations for Treasurer, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, seeing that the nominations have been closed, moving along to the election of Treasurer. All those in favor of Ms. Jeremchek being the Treasurer of the School Board of Finance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Jeremchek, you are the Treasurer. Moving along. I'm going to ask the board members who are present to confirm that they did have receipt of the written report of the corporation financial condition. And just an acknowledgement, you don't have to vote on it.
Do you want me to do a roll call then? Yes.
Please.
Okay. Sue Hoffman?
Yes.
Carl Sender?
Yes.
Jen Wagner? Yes. Rob Barron?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, moving along, I need an acknowledgement that the board reviewed the VCS investment policy and that the policy needs to be reviewed and is not altered or subject to 2 readings. We do the roll call on that too.
Yes. Sue Hoffman?
Yes.
Carl Sender?
Yes.
Jen Wagner? Yes. Rob Barron?
Yes.
Seeing as all of the ayes have come on that, we will move on to the next matter. I want to point out that there is a motion that to approve the investment report, practices, and portfolio. So do we have a motion to approve the investment report, practices, and portfolio?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the investment report, practices, and portfolio, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I believe that concludes what we need. Mr. Remchek, I believe we have comported with Indiana law. Dr. McCall, I believe, board, you have fulfilled your requirements. And I believe, Ms. Frankis, thank you very much for your help throughout this entire situation. That's all I have for you, board, and Dr. McCall, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sarkeesian. Gabby, is there anything that you need to report on this? No?
I think we took all this action of approving the policies and the investment report.
Yep, all
Okay,
done.
okay, we got it. Thank you.
Unless you have questions on any of the reports.
Madam President, I think the only thing that may be left now is in the board's discretion deciding when to call for adjournment of the second meeting.
Okay, I would like a motion to adjourn this special meeting. So moved. Second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.